call the meeting to order for July 27th, regular board meeting in the Costa Mesa Sanitary District. And with that, if you'd all please join me in saluting the flag with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Vice President Ferryman.
Bow your head and join with me in asking the Lord to bless this group and make us make the right, and invigorate us to make the right decisions for our voters. Thank you.
Okay, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Director Arthur Perry.
Here.
Assistant Secretary Robert Newton.
Here.
Vice President James Harriman.
Present.
President Michael Schaefer.
Here.
And Secretary Schaefer will be attending at a time limit.
So she can get it. Okay, Scott, any ceremonial matters or presentations?
No, Mr. President.
Late communications?
None, Mr. President.
Okay, number 7 on the agenda is public comments. Anyone wishing to speak to the board on items that are not already on the agenda are welcome to do so now with a 3-minute time limit. Anyone from the public wishing to speak? Seeing no one, we'll move to the consent calendar.
Move for approval.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries unanimous with 1 absence.
Division, consent calendar? Oh, sorry, Mr. President. Could we back up on that one?
Absolutely.
I have a matter on that one that I'd like to pull off the consent calendar and discuss separately.
Which item would that be?
That would be the matter doing the Segerstrom transfer.
Item number 11.
I remember 11.
So the maker of the motion, okay?
Yes.
Go back. Seconder is okay?
Yes.
All right, then we're going to reopen item 11.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just wanted to report that I am in negotiations with the attorney for the Segerstroms, and they're going to expand the language as to what they're going to indemnify us for. So that's going to change slightly, and we may make some other formatting changes, but the agreement will be more favorable to the district by the time we get done with it. So if you could approve that subject to some minor legal tweaking.
Should we pull it and continue it till the report's done?
It's at your pleasure. Maybe Rob has a.
If you could approve it, it's substantially the same. The only thing is, as Alan said, they expanded it a little bit. So, and the Segerstroms are not here, because it was on the consent calendar. So, I think your attorney has been under control, and you would be fine if you approve it subject to the attorney's final wording of the agreement.
I would be fine with that, and I can give you a little more information on it. Basically, it says that they'll agree to indemnify and defend us for any and all liability that arises from the sewer facilities being abandoned in place. And I said that I would like that expanded to be not only the sewer facilities abandoned in place, but if we get any action or challenge arising out of our decision to give it back, or public funds, failure to file a CEQA, anything like that, that they have to indemnify and defend us for that too. So they said they'll go beyond what they offered, and they'll give that to us too.
And providing they don't approve that, then the item becomes unapproved.
No, it's
Yeah,
it's subject to
correct.
Alan's
We'd bring it back to you if they wanted.
contingent upon.
Contingent upon, yeah.
Yeah.
So you just want to
Okay.
here.
They've already agreed to it, but yeah, absolutely, if they were to renege on that, I would bring it back to you.
Okay. So then we would need a motion to approve item 11 contingent upon attorney's recommendations.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Any public comment on that one? Signal, I'll call for the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with 1 absence.
That's perfect that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alan,
And
thanks.
we apologize to you, that this all came up in the last few hours, so.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for doing that for us. It's to our benefit.
Absolutely. Okay, we'll move to the general manager's report then. Item 1, Scott.
Thank you, Mr. President. Happy to answer any questions, but just some piece of information to share with you since this report was submitted to the board. Well, one, I'm pleased to report that our hotspots locations are down to 23. So it's significantly decreasing, and we know that we'll probably have maybe a dozen that'll be permanent. I think that's around the goal we're trying to hit. It's around a dozen, 12 hotspots. So right now we're at 23 and making some good progress. The other thing I'd like to mention to the board is item, I think it's goal number 2.6 regarding grants. In the quarterly update, we mentioned that unfortunately we did not receive, we weren't being considered for a grant from Cal Recycle. However, recently we just heard from Orange County Waste and Recycling that the grant application that Gina submitted is under consideration, and they invited us to an interview with the county. And if we are awarded funds for this program, it'll be for our scavenging program, anti-scavenging program, and also help promote our organics recycling program, as well as our new Citizens Academy, Environmental Protection Academy. The grant funding would help pay for new lockable trash containers. It'll also help pay for bilingual information, as well as like stickers to help remind people to deter people from scavenging. It can also help pay for transportation for our academy. So keep our fingers crossed, and Gina and a couple staff members will be in an interview, and hopefully it all
Did
goes
we
well.
ask for a specific amount, or are we open to what they?
Yeah, the total amount, it's a 5-year program. The total amount's about $89,000. Of that amount, we're going to be kicking in about $48,000, and then the county kicks in about $41,000. The first year is 100% contributed by the county, so they pay for the full amount, which is about $17,500. And then the second year, we start paying a little bit more, and then by the third year, it's about a 50-50. And then the fourth and fifth year, we're paying 100%, which is about $17,500 a year. So, but it's a good seed money, really, to kick off this program, and hopefully we'll see some benefits.
Excellent. Questions for staff?
What is the cost of those lockable containers, roughly?
I want to say like $65, $75, I think, I want to say. Yeah.
Do we pay that full amount? Do we
Yes.
pay for that?
Yes.
CRNR didn't contribute anything towards that, or is that a discounted rate to us or anything like that?
Well, we basically use, you remember, CNR, they give us $5,000 for a scavenging program, and that's what we use that money for.
Yeah, okay, that's right. Okay, good. Any other questions for staff? Anyone from the public wishing to speak on this item? Sorry, guys, I got to do it. Seeing no one, then let's proceed and file.
Yes.
Very good. Okay, item 2.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. This is one of 3 contribution applications for your considerations tonight. The first one is from the Newport Mesa School Foundation State of the Schools Breakfast. And what I would like the board to just remind the board that when you're considering approving these applications, that again, you need to establish the purpose CMT is trying to serve as a contributor, and you also need to describe how the expenditure will advance CMT's purpose. And what I have on the screen there for you is some ideas. Maybe we can, if you approve these grant fundings, some ideas we can give to the applicants. We just cannot accept, we cannot no longer have them say thank you for contributions or put our logo on there. There's got to be some kind of statement on there. And so I have on the screen some ideas that we can share with them, but this is by no means, the only ones we can do. But I just want to give that idea, maybe, for the board. If you like any of these, maybe you can direct staff to work with the applicants that have some of these messages on their programs.
Sure. In thinking about this one, it occurred to me that if we're going to do something with the school district and they're going to let us put a purpose on there or something like that, this would be a great opportunity to have us advertise the battery recycling program.
Sure.
I mean, we are working with the school district for that, so in exchange for our contribution, if they let us promote the battery recycling program, I think that would tie in well with the school district.
Perfect. Great.
How would the foundation do that? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Hi,
If you
Can you
go
go
to the
ahead?
mic, to the official microphone. Yeah, it's the only one too.
Thank you for letting me come and speak to you. I'm Pat Corder, president of the Newport Mesa Schools Foundation. And this will be our fourth State of the Schools breakfast. It's gone to all the other 3 high schools in the district, and now it's coming to Costa Mesa High School. And then we'll start the round again. And this is the first time I've heard about your battery recycle program, but as president, I will be giving welcoming remarks, and I can say whatever I like. So if you have something that's near and dear to your heart, I would be glad to promote it for you. I understand that you have, do you have containers for water bottles, recycle bottles, or do you do anything like that? Because there's, everyone there will have a water bottle, and we're thinking that would be a good recycle thing to do.
Is it Mesa water bottle?
No, it's
I mean, we
Costco.
Fill those with
Pat, do you know what our battery recycling,
No, could you tell me about it?
Each of the schools is given an opportunity. You know, we used to have newspaper recycling. With
Yes.
But, well, with the advent of not newspapers, telephone books, and we would give cash donations to the schools for their collection. Well,
I remember that when I was teaching.
All right, we shifted that to collecting batteries.
Any kind of batteries?
Alkaline. You know,
Not car batteries.
So, and how much did we contribute to the schools last year?
The minimum is $300, but the maximum, I think, is $1,500.
Yeah. So the schools, based on the level of participation and amount of batteries collected, we give them a donation. So it's been very successful, I think. So, any questions? Go ahead.
Yeah, Art.
When you put out a program at the breakfast, because we've attended the breakfasts at Newport Harbor, and Jim and I are from Costa Mesa High, so we'll probably be attending. But,
Good.
And my wife went there, so I'm sure I'll be attending.
All right.
But do you put out a program at that breakfast?
Yes, it's quite a nice program.
Is there a chance that we could have some type of something on the program that signifies our participation in one of the programs like we're talking about?
Yes,
Is that a possibility?
yeah, there's quite a few ways that you get your name and logo out, if you would be a sponsor. Yes,
Well, there's 6 ways listed here.
yes.
Did you adjourn the meeting, Mike?
Is it time to adjourn? Yeah, that already is.
Come on up, Arlene. Hey, Pat, would you work with our staff to develop
Oh,
something for your?
for sure,
Because
yeah.
that's going to, was that come up in is that September?
It's the end of September, yeah, which is not that far away in the scheme of things.
Right.
Okay.
You know, it might be possible to promote more than one of those areas too.
Yeah, good.
Maybe Christmas tree, you know, I don't know. But
Yeah, I think that's good.
if something else, you know, is more attractive to you, maybe we could work with that.
Okay. We'd appreciate any, support we can get, of course.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Any list for support?
Move approval.
Second.
Discussion? Anyone from the public wishing to speak? Seeing no one, I will call for the question. Before I do that, record reflect that Secretary Schaefer has arrived. Okay,
And I'm abstaining from this one.
that's fine. Okay.
What is that?
Call for the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with 1 abstention. Okay.
So I'll get it
Yeah,
to Gina, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
This one?
Thank you. Thanks for your hard work. It's a good deal.
Thank you, well, and thank you guys, you've just been doing this forever and ever and ever and ever.
Where did you?
Careful how
Where
you
did
go.
you? Where did you teach at?
Mainly California school.
Okay, good. That's where my kids went.
My
Yeah.
kids went there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So did mine. All 3 of them went to California.
It's still a good little neighborhood
great
school.
It is a great school.
Except I liked the principal last year better.
Oh, Matt,
Yeah, I coached him in Little League, so I had
you're kidding, really? Yeah, he's a great guy.
to. Great guy. So, Okay, thanks for your presentation.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
So, may I leave?
Yeah, yeah. If you like.
You're welcome to stay.
I know.
This is your building, I mean,
I somehow had you down further on Colorado. Sorry to say I didn't know you.
we like it here. Thank you again.
Thanks,
Oh,
Pat.
thank you, guys.
All right, item 3.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. This is another contribution application, but this one's for the Harbor Mesa Lions Club Third Annual Mystery Dinner. And again, if you could put the slide back up. Again, staff will want to remind the board to, again, establish a purpose for why CMSD is trying to serve as a contributor to Harbor Mesa Lions Club, and also describe how the expenditure will advance our purpose. And again, here are some suggestions you can recommend to the Harbor Mesa Lions Club to consider in their program.
Yeah, you probably need to abstain.
I just asked that question, if I need to abstain.
I don't believe so. I mean, the other 4 of us do the fish fry generator.
No, that's not for money.
There's not a legal requirement to abstain. You could abstain if you felt uncomfortable voting on it, but there's not a legal requirement because it's not a source of income to you.
Did you make the application?
No,
No.
I had nothing to do with it.
It's up to
I
you.
feel comfortable.
Good. Okay, questions for staff on this one, or is there some discussion?
I think that $1,000 is a pretty extreme amount for the service club, personally. I don't know if that's, and I'm not sure, I've never been to one of those dinners, mystery dinners.
It's actually 500.
It says.
What it is, it's
Oh,
actually,
wait, I'm looking at the wrong one.
it's just a fundraiser to create money for organizations that need it, that the city can't seem to find the money to represent different cities and give money to.
I don't know.
There's got to be a nexus between that and us and how that's going to promote our programs. So
Mhm.
we just got to figure out which one it's going to be.
Well,
Well, it's community-wise. I mean, it's, we do publicity and we would be counted in on it, or we would be counted in on it.
I think the one difference, like between the schools, is there's a program
Mhm.
and there's things that are handed out to people that
Mhm.
we can add, or that we can put our message on. At this, I don't think there's anything like that. There's no program or anything?
There is,
There is a program.
there's a program.
Because it wasn't mentioned in
Yeah.
the application.
No, there would be a program, just like Sigerstrom's is in the program and always gives money for that. And there's a lot of other people that do too. And it's just for, a purpose of actually serving for, which you know what Lions stand for and what they serve. So it's up to you.
I think, Mr. President, Director Schaefer missed the presentation that Scott just made about how the purpose needs to advance the district's purpose, and there needs to be that finding, and that's why we were suggesting these kinds of messages to help advance those purposes. So as long as it advances those purposes, if it has a secondary impact of advancing the Lions Club, that's okay.
Mhm.
But the
Right.
primary purpose has to be to advance our purpose in recycling or in doing something else as one of our enumerated powers.
Yeah, if I may just add on, if you're going to approve this application, we just want direction from the board of what message you want us to work with the Lions Club to put on their program, and that's why we put this on the screen to kind of help guide you. If you don't like any of these 4, you can just kind of generally tell us what program you want us to work with the Lions Club, and we can work with them and put that in the program.
Personally, the first one would be the one I would recommend for this type of event, because she talked in the application about recycling bottles and cans. That, I'm not sure how that, to me, the first statement up there benefits us more than them just recycling bottles and cans, because we know where those go anyway, right?
What you
The
talking
CRR.
about this program right now,
Yeah,
right?
if Harbor Mesa Lions is going to give us some statement, or if they're going to use anything, I would prefer the first one.
Okay.
Personally. How anybody else feels about that?
Well, it'd be like,
We do a lot for
Or a
chalk.
multi-purpose one like you were talking about?
We do a lot for chalk, as far as,
well,
It's the purpose of the districts that has to be served.
we're trying
not the
to
community.
educate them for the
Okay.
organics program.
Okay.
And that's an undertaking, because, people just, they aren't, it takes a while to get that. So,
I don't think we should be opening this up to all the service clubs in the area just by posting something on their program that's going to benefit us. I mean, this is kind of vague, I think. That's a sort of bigger purpose. I like the Ladies Lions Club, but I don't think the Men's Lions Club would submit an application. And I don't think, you'd
that's
open up.
because you have lots of money.
No, that's not the purpose. The purpose is moving our programs forward. I'm not sure that it's in our best interest to open this up. Because once we do it with Lady Lions, then we've got the Rotary and the Kiwanis and everybody else just doing the same thing. So that's where I'm coming from. Even though I know you guys need the money, I just don't think it's to our advantage to do it.
Okay. Other discussion? Anyone from the public wishing to speak? Now I'll close the public comments section and entertain a motion.
how much were they requesting?
$500.
I would offer up $350 to support the program.
Is a motion?
Yes.
Second on that?
I'll second.
Okay. Discussion? Call for the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
No.
No. Okay, the motion fails.
Who said
2 to
no?
3.
I did. And Bob.
Okay. All right. We'll move to the next item, Scott.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is your third contribution application to consider for tonight, and it's from Vanguard University for their 21st annual Christmas Fantasia concert. Again, just want to remind the board, as the last two applications, you need to establish a purpose that CMB is trying to serve as a contributor to the Vanguard University's annual Christmas Fantasia concerts, and also describe how the expenditure will advance CMB's purpose.
Okay. Questions for staff?
Refresh my memory, I don't have the thing.
We have someone from the Vanguard here.
Yeah, well,
I'd like to hear- I'd like to hear exactly.
yeah,
what it's like.
before we bring them up, did we contribute last year?
Yes, we did.
The $2,500 level? I thought we
I just wanted to say, I've gone to the event, and it is really a good event. It has a lot of organizations that go to this event, particular event, and they're one of our neighbors that, we actually need to support, as far as I'm concerned.
The other question I had, Scott, did we receive, in the packet, the application isn't filled out? At least it isn't on mine.
I thought they filled in an application. If they didn't, I don't know what happened, but
It's blank on here. I swear. Anybody else see that?
Oh, it's blank.
yeah, you're right.
Good call. Well, I'm sure you have a completed copy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know you did. I don't know why it was blank. It might have been staff's oversight on that one.
Oh, it's showing up there.
Oh, it is showing. Okay.
Well, I don't want to get bogged down in that. The fact that we did it last year, we discussed it last year, and I remember the discussion, so it's essentially the same thing. If we could hear from the applicant, let's do that. Go ahead.
Well, good evening, President Schaefer and directors. My name is David Vasquez. I'm the Director of External Relations at Vanguard University. the oldest four-year college in Orange County, and a top 10 sewage customer for the district. I want to say first off, thank you as a public agency for having a contribution program for educational partners and organizations in the community. It's really of value and importance, so we appreciate that. And thank you for your support of our program last year. As a just brief overview, our Christmas Fantasia program is now in its 21st year. We hold a concert at both St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church in Newport Beach and Segerstrom Center for the Arts. The program in total attracts over 4,000 folks from the local community, many of which are in your service area. It is a concert, everything from classical, traditional, contemporary, Christmas, holiday music. Last year, the district message was focused on tree recycling. Of course, as has been the conversation, you can direct if you do approve what that looks like. And there's advertisement in print, digital, social media. There's a lot of different opportunities. It's in terms of sponsorships, like Director Schaefer had said, it's everybody from our local utilities and districts to corporate organizations. So we certainly would hope to have your support, and I'm pleased to answer any questions about the program, more about the university if there were any questions.
Thank you, David. The question, if I remember correctly, when we discussed this last year, now we may need your help on this. If you remember the question or the topic that came up about the religious overtones and that sort of thing, refresh me on what we talked about last year, because I don't remember what I had for breakfast today.
Right, no, understandable. I believe it was a concern.
Yeah, look at you, you never missed a breakfast.
I haven't missed a breakfast either.
I believe it was a concern last time. I know that one of the things I discussed was the wide variety of music offerings that are there at the program. And I believe last time council had talked about how that wasn't legally or constitutionally even perhaps a problem, but your council could speak to that.
Okay. Do you remember that conversation, Alan, or does that, I mean, the religion, the fact that Vanguard is a faith-based institution doesn't prevent us from doing anything?
No, it would not. It's as long as the message isn't adopted as the message of the district, it doesn't matter that you would support a group that is faith-based. In fact, you should treat them the same as you treat another organization that's not faith-based.
I believe there's a recent Supreme Court ruling.
I think we talked about that last year. I think that you had actually brought that in. So, okay.
How do you think you're going to go about putting the sanitary district in your program?
Yeah, so we do a printed program. So that would be one way. Last year was a pretty good piece that your staff put together. We do a spotlight acknowledgement at our both performances, and we thank all of our sponsors by name. We have a private reception with about 250 of our top supporters, sponsors, community leaders, where you're certainly welcome to attend. We have logo recognition and printed mediums. We send them out to about 14,000 of our personal subscribers to our annual Vanguard magazine. We do printed programs with all of the folks who are sponsors, send out about 15,000 to invite people in the local community to come to the event. So we feel like it is a pretty comprehensive sponsorship platform, and we'd certainly be open to, if there's anything additional that you or the district thought would be something that we could do, we'd certainly be open to that.
So, you're offering a half-page ad for the $2,500?
Yeah, so for the $2,500 specifically, that includes 6 premium seats at the Segerstrom performance for your guests, also at the VIP reception at the Center Club beforehand, half-page ad in the program ad, spotlight acknowledgement, like I said, thanking sponsors at both performances, and then inclusion and a thank you in our Vanguard magazine.
Can you pass? Is that last?
Yes, this is just an overview of our sponsorship packet, so the details and levels and what that includes.
Okay. Did you go last year?
Mm-hmm.
And it was good?
It was good.
And
Good order.
you like what staff wrote about us?
Yes, yes.
David, you've had the benefit of the last 2 applicants, and,
right,
and hearing our bias, and you guys can work with what Scott and Alan have mentioned in terms of promoting our purpose. I'm sure it's pretty clear what we need to do to comply. that's no problem for you guys then?
No, and I certainly would be open to, though it's not specifically in here, I mean, we have just shy of 1,000 students that live on our campus. We have 2,400 students total. I think there's a lot of ways we can engage our community, or we call ourselves a community, the students that live on our campus, and, social media platforms, anything that your staff would be open to, we can go back to our staff internally and talk about ideas as well. So not limited perhaps to just a specific event, but maybe a holistic approach to benefits.
Okay.
Yeah, it seems to me that this meets all the criteria that we're looking for in this kind of sponsorship. So I'd like to make the motion to approve $2,500 for the Christmas Fantasia concert.
And I'll second it.
Second. Okay. Other discussion?
Yes.
Art, go ahead.
What are your different levels of participation?
Yeah, so sponsorships range from $1,500 as the lowest level to $25,000, which is only one sponsorship for a presenting sponsor, and that's already been taken. So we have asked all of our local utilities to sponsor at that level in the past. So that is where a number of our local utilities are at. So that's why we asked for that amount last year and this year.
What do you receive for the $1,500?
Yeah, so for $1,500, I believe it's less, basically less tickets and a quarter page ad versus a half page ad.
Could one of your students teach me how to post pictures on Facebook?
I think plenty of our students would be able to do that.
I don't know, Bob.
I can tell you that.
He could ask his grandson, David, don't worry about it.
Well, you guys have new
That's
iPads, so you got to
Yeah.
learn, huh?
One of the things that I would like to see come out of this is we're working on a citizens academy, or kind of a group of folks coming in. You may have heard that earlier. I think Vanguard would be a great place to include in that. I mean, I'm sure you've got environmental students that could learn a lot by participating in our academy and our things that are coming up. So I'd like to see that as part of this as well, that we make sure that they're involved in it, bringing the students over here to participate. And I don't even, that could even be driven into something more where we have just an academy through Vanguard. But that's down the road. I want to see that tie with everything. So,
If I may broadly, I think we certainly would be open to a larger partnership with the district. I know it's identified in your strategic plan to engage with educational institutions, and we would love that conversation, so I'd love to follow up with that.
the other request I have is, can you go back to Southern California College? That's us growing up right here in Southern California.
Wally Moon Baseball Camp.
Who's the most famous alumni from Southern California?
Yeah, I Love Orders, in fact,
I
just
Love
released a
Orders.
book. We wanted to be Southern California University, but USC owns the rights
Right.
to those three names.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the request and a second. Any other discussion? I'll call for the question, and all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Okay. Motion carries 4-1.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. Thanks for your presentation. Appreciate it. You don't have to stay either. You can go if you want. That's right. Okay, item 6.
I think you can get out there.
Item 5.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. So this item was discussed at the board study session on July 18th, and it was to consider closing HQ every other Friday. And staff and the board had discussion about how technology is evolving and how we could still shut down every other Thursday and still serve our residents. And so the board directed staff to bring this back tonight for consideration. The board wanted to make sure that they like the idea of the e-plan check program and wanted to do some more research on it, and we wouldn't implement the new hours until we have something in place. To give you an update, since our July 18th meeting, I've had discussions with the city. We heard the city of Newport Beach was in negotiations with a land use management consultant, and so I reached out to them and found out they're down to 2 consultants they're considering that have the e-permitting, e-review process where outside reviewers can review, like us in Irvine Ranch Water District. And so they're really they're open to that idea, but we just don't know what the cost is, and I don't know how long it's going to take them to make that decision. And of course, their priority is number one, so they're going to want to get it up and running for them first, then they'll reach out to us. So that could be a while. The city of Costa Mesa, they want to do something like that themselves, but money's an issue. From what I'm understanding, it's just a money issue for them. Last week, staff was at a Springbrook, which is our finance management software. They're at a Springbrook conference in Portland, and we learned that their company, which is Excella, has this type of capability of fee planning checks. And so after talking to them, we could probably implement something like that here. And so I need to wait till Wendy comes back from vacation to talk about that further. In the meantime, we could also implement quite quickly an online payment system. I think that was another big issue, and we can establish a PayPal system where people could pay their fees with a credit card. So the process is working or in motion right now. What staff is recommending tonight is to at least approve it in concept, and we would like the board to. There's two things we would like the board to. Well, one thing is that if you approve the new operation hours and we're closed over the Friday, then staff is seeking some direction. Do you want us to keep the current hours as it is right now, where we close Monday through Thursday at 4:30 and on Fridays at 3:30, or if you believe it might be more of a better PR with the public if we're staying open a little bit later because we're closing every other Friday, we can do that too, where we would close on at 5 o'clock Monday through Thursday, and then close on a Friday at 4 o'clock. So the hours will be 7:30 to 5 Monday through Thursday, and then 7:30 to 4 on Fridays, and the other Friday we close, or we keep the hours as is. So happy to answer any questions.
How do the hours work out in terms of those two proposals? Is it the same amount of hours worked?
Yeah, it's all the same hours. So it's 80 hours every 2 weeks.
Yeah, I would think that as soon as you get those things into place, that we should consider this.
Which one would you want the?
I mean, I would think both of them wouldn't, the automatic pay through PayPal and the
Sure.
E-Verify, whatever.
What about the hours? What I'm seeking is direction. Do you want us to stay open till 4:30 or 5 o'clock?
I would just say the 4:30,
Yeah,
especially on a
I would
Friday.
change the hour.
Yeah.
I would change the hours.
The other recommendation I would give is that we don't just spring this. We don't just.
Yeah.
We need to give the public some
Exactly.
notice, and whether it's a
Definitely.
15-day or a 30-day notice, it
Yeah.
starts September 1 or whatever you're going to do. I think we owe it to the public to make them aware that we're doing it.
When is our next newsletter going out? Because that would be the.
Yeah, I don't think we'll have time for that. If the board approves tonight of closing over the Friday, then the next step is that staff will reach out to Excella and get a proposal and share that with you as well, and show you how it works and get your comfortability with that.
Okay.
And then once we get that up and running, then we'll do some PR as far as the new hours and closing. And so, with social media, with press release, we'll do all that stuff. So we're not looking at, even if you approve tonight, we're looking a few months before we implement it.
When is the next newsletter going out, though?
Gina, do you know?
Sugar.
Is there no room for this?
I've already submitted the initial draft, but we can still make a couple of tweaks.
Or it could even go out in the next newsletter?
Yeah, I think the next one might be more
The next one would
appropriate.
be okay, just so
Yeah.
that's one vehicle that gets out to
Yeah,
everybody.
just as a reminder, even if we implement it before that newsletter, just
Right.
a mention in the
Correct.
newsletter as a reminder.
Yeah, definitely.
Would be helpful.
That'd be a
Okay.
good resource.
All right, further discussion?
So basically, you won't be open any Fridays.
No, it's just every other Friday. We're open like 2 Fridays a month.
So you're still going to do an 8-hour day on that Friday?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
So basically, you're keeping the same hours. It's just that staff will be here on that Friday, and nobody will be here on the other Friday.
Right, right.
Move
Do you need
approval.
a motion on this?
Yeah, I would like to, I'd like to get a
We
motion.
just had a motion from Director Uten. Second, anybody second?
Second.
From Art? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries 5-0.
Okay, thank you.
Congratulations.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Wow, interrupt.
I have a question about the grade fives. We're down to what, 23, Scott?
Yes.
Is that because we're videotaping and finding them and fixing them, or are those previous ones?
The hotspots?
Yeah, the hotspots. Yeah, the hotspots.
The hotspots are separate from the grade fives. The grade fives are
That's right.
all fixed. So we're about to go under phase 9 grade fives, which are right when the televising is complete. As they go through, they pull out the grade fives, put them on a separate thumb drive, give it to us, and we fix it up, put it out to bid. The hotspots is due to our quarterly committee that Scott chairs, that we analyze the hotspots. We could go down almost to zero, but the economics of those last few doesn't work out. Paying over $100,000 to fix a hotspot
Right.
that would need to be cleaned 4 times a year for 1 hour. The economics don't really pay out.
Okay. That answers my question.
Any other questions?
I just think that we need to use the media in instances like this where we've done some real good work and make them aware that we're down to 23 or whatever the number is. Maybe fold it into the newsletter or, somehow do a news release or something.
Kind of, the article that was done on the pump station wraps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was really good.
It was very
That was
good.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and if we could tie something like that in so the public knows what we're doing, I think that makes a big difference.
Like, did you know type of thing,
Yeah.
and then say a whole factual.
And I don't, I'm a pretty regular user of Facebook, and our Facebook page is really good. It's very informative, and it's really good. It's better than Bob Wooten's Facebook page by a long shot.
Well, yeah, that's non-existent, isn't it?
You
Oh,
probably.
no, it is a
Oh.
page in the works.
I'm sure it is. Okay, anything else for Rob? Thank you, sir. Treasurer's report.
Thank you, Mr. President, we have nothing to report.
They drug you out here for nothing to report?
Yeah.
Now, Mark and Wendy are,
See you all, so.
good. Mark and Wendy are where on vacation? Didn't they go to some exotic place?
I told Rob that I don't ask because then I don't get jealous, but they're on
Good-
vacation and I'm working.
good idea.
So,
Good idea. All right. Alan, anything on our attorney's report?
No, I have nothing, Mr. President. I guess I'd just ask the question, are we now getting our emails through the CMSD email? Is that, so I sent one out to you today, and I didn't know if we made the cutover. I think we have made the cutover.
Yeah, I got mine.
I got that
Is
one
it-
in my personal email.
It,
You received it on your personal email?
Mhm.
Okay.
well, I'm not sure I ever look at this CMSD email. I don't even know how to do it.
Once you have this, you will.
I think I have the answer that
Is this to go
we're not
home?
fully switched over yet. If I need to get a hold of you, so we'll work on that, I guess, in the future. In the meantime, I'll try and get you the old-fashioned way also.
Somebody's gonna have to move in with Bob, I think, for training.
Send a carrier pigeon.
It's called Cheryl.
I think once we get these laptops at home, then it'll be perfect. But
Yeah, I agree. Okay.
Are these the ones we're going to take home?
not tonight, but
Not
soon.
tonight.
Soon.
It's probably good to touch base on that once in a while to make sure that it's working.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a good point.
I should go back and check with Nawani about how to do that.
Did you bring this up before I got here?
No.
Oh,
What about the iPads?
yeah.
Just,
No,
no.
it was just conversation.
Gina said she has to do something else with the IT guy before we get it.
Oh,
That was before the meeting.
Do we need to talk about the public records request? Can I just bring my computer in and you can search it?
Have a conversation with Scott. Or Nolani or Gina.
It's a public records.
Local meetings, Jim?
Yeah, I had a Orange County Sanitation Board meeting, and they are, you knew that they bought the one building. They're jockeying around trying to make an offer on another building over there that would satisfy, it's 5 acres, and it would satisfy, that would be all that they would need to begin construction on the whole project. They still got a long way to go on that thing. I mean, it's, and,
Well, the existing offices will be knocked down and made into a parking lot. And then
The current headquarters
the
building?
current headquarters will be knocked down and made into a parking lot.
It's because of the OC.
Of
Yeah, the admin.
Of my.
yeah, OCTA changed the
They're
configuration.
Yeah, so-
going to stay away from their house.
Good.
And then,
But, yeah,
one other thing, on Friday, November 17th is going to be the state of the district. It's going to be at Miles Square at 8 o'clock in the morning, so we may want to put that on our calendar, because that last time we got a lot of information from that.
Are they gonna have it at the golf club?
It's going to be, yeah, Miles Square Golf.
Miles Square.
Miles, on November 17th,
Thank you.
Miles Square Golf Course. It's a Friday, at 8 o'clock in the morning, they're doing the state of the district. But I think when we went to the last one, it was really valuable for me to see how they laid everything out.
Yeah, I've been to the last two, and I think they do a real nice job with that meeting.
you know, they're also, they've hired Brent Ives to do a strategic plan,
All right.
update of their strategic plan. So that's going to begin here shortly.
I talked to Brent about that last or 2
Yeah.
weeks ago.
And they've also successfully negotiated the OCTA. I think they said everything with OCTA was Herbert had successfully negotiated, which was some crossings on the freeway and
Oh, yeah, that-
on-ramp.
Jim Herbert negotiated or sat down with the OCTA guy,
Yeah,
and they made a lot of progress. It's not quite done yet, but
Okay.
they made a lot of progress. Which is kind of amazing to me, because it's usually their way or the highway, from what I understand.
OCT.
Had no pun intended, you know.
I just got it. Anything else on OCSD? All right, Art and Sarpa.
There's no SARFA, this is a dead period in the summer.
ISDOC, I missed the meeting because I was at another venue, not on vacation, I was working somewhere else. So, did you attend the ISDOC? Do you need anything to report from that?
Not really. They just had a regular meeting. They have the new secretary there,
Okay.
you know, Doug. And aside from that, they just went along with everything that went on and just
Okay.
didn't have any problems.
Amazing.
Because you weren't there.
I know. CSDA, anything to report from CSDA?
CSDA, I hope everybody's got their new magazine from CSDA. And that, from what I hear, everybody's going to the CSDA conference in Monterey. And it sounds like a lot of good things are going to happen there. The conferences are really good, and they've been extremely good. And the attendance is just off the wall. You know, it's
Already?
just really
Monterey
doing well.
brings
in
a lot of people.
Just Monterey just automatically charges people to come. And Vince is doing a good job as president. And I am running for re-election, of course, you know that. And I won't know till August 7th if I got that position. And then after that, then the board will be meeting again. And I guess I won't be making that meeting, so I'm going to have to be talking with some people to make sure what's going on. And aside from that, CSDA, you know, is going along great as far as legislation. I've talked to the fire department from our fire chief, and I'm going to get together with him and show him the facilities here, and also talk to him some about legislation and see if I can help them some, because he goes up there off and on every month too. And so we just said we'll, organize ourselves together after the fair. So,
Just another CSD. I attended the Special Districts Leadership Foundation workshop in Napa a couple of weeks ago, and SDRMA sent me, but remember when we went to the Leadership Foundation and they had refresher courses for people who are already,
yes.
they didn't do that up there.
they didn't?
No, it was all just basic. And I expressed to Megan
Good.
that I still think they need to do those refresher courses because
Absolutely.
I think it's beneficial.
We got a lot out of it.
I agree. The other interesting thing is I talked to for quite a while with Kyle Packham, the legislative guy up there. He wanted to know what was going on with Mesa Water and our proposed consolidation. So I filled him in on a couple of things, but they are keeping, CSDA is also keeping an eye on what's going on, just so that you all know.
Yeah.
Okay, SDRMA, our board meeting is next week, so I'll have a report next month. Like Arlene, I'm up for re-election for that board, but we don't find out until the end of August. So, that is what it is. Okay, other meetings? You want to talk about Waco?
I'm trying to think, see if I find my
I left
notes.
my notes in
I
my
know,
office.
I'm looking for mine.
It was a good Waco.
It was really good.
It was a very informative and good Waco meeting this month.
I still left my agenda in my car, because I took real good notes. May have to report on it next time.
That's okay. Any other meetings? Okay. No old business, no new business. So we'll move to director comments and oral communications. Anybody?
Yes. Okay. Back to the CSDA conference. Did you book us already, Nolani?
The rooms are booked.
I mean,
The travel needs to be arranged.
Okay. Can we discuss that right now, what our plans are as individuals? Jim, are you going up?
Yeah, I'm
What day are you
going
going to
up.
go up?
That's a good question. Is everybody going up Tuesday?
I know, it's Sunday or Monday.
Or no, Monday, yeah,
Well,
Sunday.
It starts on Monday, but usually we go up on Sunday.
I'm going up on Tuesday morning.
Oh, Tuesday morning? Okay, so you're not going to go with us?
You're
That's
going
why I meant-
Sunday?
Well, that's one option. We go up Sunday and then it starts on Monday, because it starts in the morning on
Yeah.
Monday.
Well, the actual conference begins Tuesday. On Monday's the golf tournament and a tour of,
Is that on Monday?
that's on Monday. I'm going to go up on Sunday. Whether I fly or drive, I'm not sure yet, because I'm playing in the golf tournament on Monday, which I paid for myself. So I'm going up on Sunday.
You don't know if you're driving or not?
I don't know yet. My partner at home needs to let me know whether she's going to go. If she goes, then we'll probably drive.
Okay. So Jim, what about you?
I'm going to fly, and it would probably be Sunday or Monday.
Do we have to know soon to book those flights?
That would be,
But if you're
Well,
going to go
because
Sunday,
because
we would.
right now, we'd have to fly into San Jose unless we took
Right.
the thing from
Yeah, you-
Long Beach Airport to Phoenix to, was able to fly, but it looked like there was only like one seat available
Wow.
to come back.
It's
But they-
really
It's a
expensive
funnel
to
trip,
fly to
too.
Monterey, too.
It was like $340 round trip, something like that.
Really?
Yeah, let's just fly into San Jose.
Okay.
It's only an hour, a little over an hour to get
Okay,
down.
so, that's what I'm saying, if we go on Sunday, I'll go with you, we'll book the times together.
When you going off on Tuesday?
Tuesday
Because you know
morning.
your way from
early
San
as
Jose to
possible.
Monterey.
Yeah.
Sunday?
Sunday.
But I think on Tuesday it starts around,
And then when would you come back?
there's some guys
Whatever time you-
thinking
whenever you
in the
come back.
morning.
Are you going to come back directly to Orange County, or are you going to go to San Jose? I mean, from San Jose to Orange County, or you going to stay in San Jose?
No, I
San
would,
Jose.
at first I thought I was going to stay in San Jose, but I don't think I am now, so.
We could, it
So
ends on Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah.
We'd have to leave at a certain time to get to San Jose to fly home, to make the flight.
Once you guys let Nolani
Yeah, that's
know,
what
so-
we're kind of working on now, so
Yeah.
Nolani can.
Just one thing, if you're going to spend a night on Sunday night, we don't get the CSDA rate. It's Monday. It's Monday night. So.
Can we get an early flight on Monday?
I believe he's talking about the hotel.
Oh, the hotel.
Hotel,
It's
yeah,
the hotel.
hotel.
So say that again?
So you fly, so you want, if you fly in Sunday and stay over Sunday night, then we don't get the CSD rate. The CSD rate at the hotel is Monday through Wednesday.
CSJ hasn't booked out enough blocks of rooms for Sunday night, since the conference starts on Tuesday. So they have it booked from Monday, checking out Thursday.
Really?
Hmm.
That's unusual.
Yeah,
Most
we do,
hotels
yeah.
extend it before and after a conference.
I believe Megan's trying to work on extending it, but she hasn't secured a block yet.
Wow, okay. I know it's a little confusing because there's actually two hotels.
Only bunk beds.
Right.
Yeah, bunk beds for you too.
How much of a difference of price is it?
Right now, the rooms are going at about $169 with the CSDA rate, and then for a non-conference rate, it was in the higher 200s.
So,
Well, then if there's.
Fly Monday?
Go Monday.
yeah, just fly Monday.
Reception doesn't start till 5.
Yeah.
You fly
Yeah.
on Monday morning, it's fine.
I was gonna have Mike take my golf clubs in his car, but I'm
If
not.
I drive, I'll be more than happy.
It'll be too late.
And you, of course, the STRMA's already got mine taken care of.
Okay, so we're gonna leave Monday and come back on Wednesday?
Okay. Thursday.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Because it basically is over on Wednesday.
There's a meeting, there's a Thursday. morning.
Thursday's just the morning breakfast or something, isn't
There's a legislative report.
it? Yeah, it's no big deal on the agenda.
Yeah, it is.
Pardon me?
For her to,
Yeah, for you it is, I mean, but for,
So you're coming back on Wednesday night?
well, I was thinking about coming back on Wednesday, but it's up to Jim.
I'm
If he's driving.
flexible. I can go either way.
You can tell me after.
Yeah, I would say Wednesday night we would come back.
Monday, Wednesday?
Oh, don't you, Jim? What, Monday, come back Wednesday?
I can do that.
I'm just thinking,
I will just let them know. I guess this is going to be a question for you, Alan. In our recent PRA request that we got from Mesa Water, or can we talk about that now in open session?
Well, it's not on the agenda, so it'd be better if we talk.
yeah, probably not.
As a director comment, can I make a comment?
Yeah, sure.
In reading through all of that, I understand their request and everything. The thing that had me puzzled was their request for any correspondence between myself and my personal attorney. I don't know. I
I
didn't.
was concerned, yeah, they must think you have a personal attorney.
I do,
Yeah, but I mean, not about, yeah.
but I would never talk to them about district business. It's not. I'm not going to pay him when we're already paying you.
Right.
You know what I mean? It seemed like an odd.
Yeah, that'll be
Request.
one you won't have to respond to.
Okay. Okay. Just.
I'm not sure what I'm not sure what they're.
Well, they just
We'll
wanna
talk
be-
about that.
they wanna be a
outside of
nuisance.
the open forum.
That's all it is. They just want to be a nuisance.
And then the other comment that I would throw out was this idea that Mesa Water can appoint a director when we think it has to go to special election.
You can appoint it to finish the first 2 years of the term, which it ends in 2018, and they got to go to special.
Okay, that's where I got confused. Because Temiaka's term actually went to 2020.
Right.
Okay, thanks, Scott.
Do they know that or not? Okay.
Yeah, who knows what they know. Any other comments? Bob, Arlene?
No,
Okay. How's the fair?
it's fair.
You look beat.
I am.
Okay, if there is no other business, then I will adjourn us until our August whatever meeting. Okay, we're adjourned.